I'm Kim Sedgwick.
And I'm Amy Sedgwick of Red Tent Sisters.
And ecosex.ca. Today we're answering a question about the Diva Cup. Someone wrote into us and said, why is it that sometimes the Diva Cup is harder to insert than other times? Which is a great question.
Great question.
So before we talk or answer that question, let's just fill you in for those of you who are not familiar with the Diva Cup. So what is it? It is a reusable menstrual cup. We both use it, have been for quite some time. I've been using it for about 10 years. I
don't want to think how long it's been. It makes me feel very old. Almost 20 years.
So there's a few reasons why we love it. One, given the nature of our work, it really promotes body literacy, so you get to know your body a lot better. I remember being shocked the first time I used it to realize how little I actually bled, because with tampons, there's the bulk of the tampon, so I actually thought it was bleeding way more than I was. So it's really cool because you get a good sense of what your menstrual cycle looks like. Way better for the environment. You're not throwing anything in the garbage. Saves you tons of money. Haven't paid for a menstrual product in quite some time, which is pretty awesome. Good for traveling. You don't have to bring anything with you.
Good for health. No risk of toxic shock syndrome.
Exactly.
Toxic shock syndrome.
Yes, none of that. Which is fabulous. So lots and lots of great reasons to switch to the Diva Cup. But yeah, back to the question. It's not all rosy. There's certainly a learning curve to inserting it. And then in answer to that question, Ames, do you have some ideas about why it is that sometimes it would be harder than others?
Yeah, so I would say, first of all, you are inserting something, so it helps to have lubrication. And so it depends where you are in your menstrual flow. If it's a day near the end when you're going to be, not having a lot of menstrual blood and you're getting near the dry part of your menstrual cycle, for those of you who are charters with me will know what that means, the dry phase where we're not actually producing any cervical mucus or natural lubrication in that manner, then things will be kind of dry and it will feel more difficult to insert. Whereas on a really heavy day, like maybe at the very beginning of your period, there's going to be a lot of menstrual blood mixed with a lot of other fluids that come from your uterus and your vagina around that time that will naturally lubricate it and make it easier to insert. So that's one thing. The second thing is that our uterus and our vagina actually shift in terms of position in response to the hormones throughout our cycle. So the very beginning of our menstruation, again, our hormones are in a different place, our cervix might be in a slightly different place, and over the course of our menstruation, that's going to shift a little bit. So the angle in terms of your vagina, your uterus, cervix, all of that's going to change a little bit. So there might be times when it's a little more comfortable or a little less comfortable.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why women notice that is that you can use the Diva Cup on your lighter days, which you can't with a tampon, right? They really don't recommend using a tampon because of the risk of toxic shock. Toxic shock. Let's say TSS because it's a lot easier. It's quite a mouthful. And so yeah, I actually use the Diva Cup before I even get my period sometimes, if I know it's coming, so I'll insert it, but you're right that there's going to be less lubrication. If you are experiencing discomfort when you put the Diva Cup in, there's a couple options. So we've had some people tell us that they actually insert their Diva Cup in the shower because then you've got the water as a lubricant. So that's one option. You can also use a water-based lubricant, just a little bit to help again with adding the lubrication there. Just keep in mind, you definitely want to stick with a water-based one. Silicone lubricant on a silicone Diva Cup, not a good combination. It's going to stick and degrade the material, so you definitely want to stick with a water-based one. And of course, being the nature of our store, we have to also remind you to please use a natural lubricant, so one without the parabens in it. So something
the glycerin.
And the glycerin.
Don't want any yeast infections.
Yeah, let's stay away from those two. So yeah, using a nice natural water-based lubricant or going in the shower. Those are our two suggestions. And I just wanted to add to that because I know you experienced this as well. As much as I adore my Diva Cup, I go around telling everyone how much I love it. There are times when I find it does aggravate my cramps and that it has like a pressure sensation. So that's why we're big fans of having other menstrual products, other options, because Red Tent Sisters are all about options, right? So both of us we've got the Luna panties, which are awesome from the company Luna Pads. So it's underwear with a pad built right in.
I'm totally about to stand up and show off.
Yeah, Amy's wearing them right now. Look how adorably
Look how cute these are. Are these in the picture?
Yeah. So cute.
Yes.
I think about the underwear that I normally have when I have my period, and they're like these ragged things that are falling apart. Now I get so excited when I get these. When I get my period, I'm all excited to put on my cute underwear now. So yeah, that is an awesome option. Or you can just have a reusable pad you can throw into whatever underwear you have. So yeah, so those are some other options on the days when your Diva Cup is maybe not fitting quite right. All right, well, thanks so much for the question. We look forward to talking to you again soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.